We are going for a 20-kilometer run on roads that not too many people come out and set up a run on because we're chasing VeloViewer Squares. VeloViewer Squares is probably not well known, but should be better known by adventure racers everywhere. For those who do get involved in chasing VeloViewer Squares, it's acquired somewhat of a cult following right around the world and is growing in popularity with each passing year. So stick around and we're going to go through VeloViewer Squares, how to get them, how to grow them. So what is VeloViewer? Effectively, it's an addition to your existing Strava data. So it costs £10 per year and it gives you just a boatload of additional statistics. The area we're interested in is the Activities tab. And when you go in here, you'll see your Max Square and your Max Cluster. Each activity we do generates a track, and these go through a series of squares. If squares touch each other, then they contribute towards your max cluster. If they generate a square, well, then these contribute to your max square. This morning we were after these 8 squares, and that will unlock a total of 17 squares. Inside in your Strava routes, somebody has very helpfully made a plugin for Google Chrome where you can look at your VeloViewer tiles and then quite easily see the tiles that you're missing. This makes it much easier when you get to mapping your route. As you map the route, the tiles turn yellow to show you the ones that you don't already have. So this morning's run looks relatively straightforward, but there is one awkward tile, and occasionally you come across one of these over here to the right. We've already looked at it, and there is potentially a forest track or a farm road that might allow us to access that. So we're just going to go ahead and use the route we have, and just when we get to that point, we'll see if we can get access to that last tile. And the final thing you absolutely need to do before you set off is you need to start the record button on whether it's your watch or your phone, because with this one, if it's not in Strava, it really didn't happen. You don't get the squares. So, you absolutely have to hit that record button. Things I think that most people find with chasing VeloViewer Squares is that you get to places that you would never dream of getting to normally. So you find yourself out in townlands, boreens, wind farms, offshore islands. It's just built for adventure racers, so it just gets into these, wild and wonderful places. Sometimes very quiet. We're out this morning, we've yet to see a car. It's unlikely we'll see one for another while again. And it's just great to get to those places. Tell you now, while since this tractor was buck raking silage. And one of the amazing things that you get to discover when you're out in these rural areas is there's, we're in such an archaeological rich country here in Ireland. There's things like this everywhere. There's fairy forts, ring forts, rats, dunes, dolmens, stone circles. I always joke that, if something like this was, 5 kilometers from the city centre in Dublin, it would be on every tourist trail in Ireland. But, this one here, I don't know the name of it. I'm sure 99.9% of the population in Ireland don't know the name of it, and it's probably as historically significant as, any stone circle that's out there. These places are wonderful, and they're just littered around our landscape, and it's just brilliant to get to see them when you're out there, looking for that next VeloViewer tile. All sorts of wildlife around here. Obviously getting overfed a little bit, are you?
Come here. Just happy enough to socially distance from us this morning. That's fine too. For home. Nice loops today. Yeah, not bad. So just quiet country boreens, lots and up and down, grass growing up the middle for the most part. Quite a few nice bits of archaeology along the way. There was, you know, galons, ring forts, lots of that kind of stuff. What else did you say you saw, Slim?
Lots of dandelions.
Oh yeah, dandelions, yeah. We're coming into dandelion season, and there were lots of dandelions everywhere, which was pretty cool. And that's it. So I had a quick look. We were looking to get 8 of the squares on VeloViewer this morning, which we got, I think. And we'll see when we get back home later. And that will also unlock another 11 in terms of our max cluster. So we'll be adding about 20 to our max cluster, and we'll have 8 completely new squares got. So that's, you know, that's a win for the morning. And you know, check out VeloViewer. It's, you know, it's only the price of, you know, a couple of cups of coffee for the year. So it's, you know, it's great value. And for anybody who's in adventure racing, I tell you, it's strangely addictive. You know, there's a real chance it'll transform where you go, the type of routing you do, and it's made for adventure racers, because some squares you'll have to paddle to get to, others you'll have to, you know, hike or climb, you'll have to bike to get them, you'll have to, you know, trail run. So it's made for people who are into adventure racing and an adventure. So that's it. See you in the next one.